told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.
Hello there, and welcome to another exciting, interesting, educative episode of EduShift, where we'll help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. Now, for a long time, our educational system has focused on grades, on whether a child comes first, second, and third, the A's, the B's, and name it. But in today's world, where learning has evolved, there's a need to talk about something. There's a need to look beyond academics. Not like academics are not important, but it's important to integrate social, emotional learning into the curriculum. Now, that is why we're here today to discuss on the topic, beyond academics, the need to introduce social, emotional learning to our education curriculum. Now, I am not alone in the studio. I have someone capable of educating us on this very topic. And she is an education consultant with SEBA. Yes, she's here to do justice to this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Stella. Oh, thank you so much, Priscilla, for having me. My name is Stella Adewalure, and like she said, I'm an education consultant. And the topic we want to talk about today is actually long overdue, and I'm glad that Priscilla has taken it upon herself for us to have the conversation. Yeah.
Okay, you're much welcome. You're very welcome today. I look forward to your wealth of knowledge. So let me start with this topic. All right, sorry, with this question. Many people have, never heard of social emotional learning. In its simplest term, what does it mean?
Okay, social emotional learning in the very simplest step is, equipping learners with social and emotional skills. Okay, so I'll break it down. When you're talking about social, equipping learners with the schemes that they need to interact with people, all right? The schemes that they need to have to know that this person beside me is also human, and I need to have empathy, I need to have love, I need to be able to accommodate this person as someone in my space like you. That's a simple term. So it cuts across developing learners' emotion. So before learners can interact effectively in any space, they need to have a hang on their emotion. So it cuts across equipping learners with skills to be in tune with their own emotion, their ability to control their own emotion before they can even start talking about controlling other things. So we need a social emotional learning to ensure that we have balanced learners, balanced learners that are capable of facing societal pressure, both in Nigeria and wherever they find themselves. So great enough, great academics are fantastic, but they are not the skills that will help learners navigate the world that we don't know, and they will go and live it.
Okay, so the world where cultism, bullying, and even depression is thriving. Do you think the lack of social emotional learning is a contributing factor?
It is. And then you see me sitting on the edge of my chair. It is because, in schools, when we go to school, we have a lot of learning taking place without the skills that we use to back up this lay. And I'll break it down what they want to. It's not enough for you to know math. It's not enough for you to be good with physics. All right. If you are going to work in any place, even if you have your business, your ability to relate with people will determine how far that company will go. Your ability to harness the resources you have at your disposal. That is number one. Now, moving to cultism. Now, we have a lot of children that are emotionally damaged, that have a lot of self-esteem issues. So we have parents releasing these children into a society that is new. And the moment they have a succor or someone that can listen, that can hear, or that speaks their language, they go in. That is what is feeding it. It's as simple as that. Children that do not have a strong identity to say, to make decision and stand with their decision that this is what I want to do and I'm not going to change my mind about this. So that is what is feeding, and that is why social emotional learning is highly important for us to put in a curriculum. And even if it's not in the curriculum, the teachers can pick it here or there and embed it in their lessons and what of you.
Okay, there are parents that believe that school is basically for academics. Don't teach my child anything. They just want to see their children thrive. Don't punish my child. Don't do any letter. Just teach them academics and then conduct. And there's some schools that believe charity begins at home, with then discipline in the house, and all. And somehow I feel like there's a clash of interests. Somehow when the kids, that's at the end of the day, the effect is on that child. So have me balance it.
Thank you. You say the first formative years of any child is with the parents. I know the times are changing where children are being brought to school at age 1 and all of that, age 2 and all of that. But the truth is, learners learn by observation. They do learn by thought. So the responsibility of developing learners at the early stage of their life is the parents. That is one side. And the other responsibility, now that we have the children in our hands in the education system, what I'll say to that is a shared responsibility. The parents should play their role. Don't do as I say. Do as I do. That is on the children neck. And the teachers as well should model what good looks like. Support good, all right, instead of supporting or feeding negativity. So my opinion or my suggestion about that is finding the balance. Parents, listen, play your role. Teachers, well, the times have changed. They are in the school, play the role.
So do you think teachers are equipped to even dish out social emotional learning?
Some are not. Now, all these your questions, they are trying a lot of big answers, but let's narrow it down. If you have a teacher that is passionate about what he or she is in, it's difficult for you to push such teacher to do his or her job. That's social emotional learning, right? Knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Teaching them skills is one side. When I train, I tell people, if I'm giving you all the skills in this world, and you're in your mind, the skills are dead on arrival, it will not work. Yeah. So if a teacher is passionate, for a teacher to now understand that I need to be a role model to a child in my class, I need to mold the life of this child in my class, won't be difficult. Do you understand? However, the challenge we have on our hands is that a lot of these teachers do not even want to teach it. They don't even want to do the job. So how much we're now asking them to level operate? The next thing they will tell you is that it's difficult, it's too much, it's this. Whereas you have teachers that once you drop your children with them in the morning, you are rest assured and safe. They will go beyond. They will even buy diapers and give you a child before you come. Mom, your diaper. Whereas you have another set of teachers that will even take diapers away.
So we eat your children's food.
It's children's food. So it all boils down to social emotional background, upbringing,
And training.
and training. Yes, and training. But like I said, I'm putting training last. Because training will build on what you want inside of. Training will build on your character. Training will build on who you are. You see, if you are telling someone that does not value integrity and truth about doing things right, you may be missed a lot. And that starts from these formative years we're talking about.
Wow. So basically, are you saying just like the nursing career, I feel like not everyone is called to be a nurse. In the same thing, not everyone is called to be a teacher. But there are teachers that are built, there are people that are built, let me not say teacher, that people are built to be teacher. And there are people that can never be teachers.
Yes, there are. And I'll say both. I'll say both. And so let me use myself as an example. When I was doing the secondary school, I did sciences in my background and all of that, and I wanted to be a geologist. But because I failed young, so I found myself in education. But finding myself in education could indicate them much fun. So sometimes you find yourself in professions that you'd never go think about, that you will find your safety, and you will just find that passion coming. That was what happened to me anyways. And we have quite a number of people like that.
Don't you think this is basically because we don't have a good guidance and counselor there because that's it. Because it's hard one. If you had one, you wouldn't even go towards geology. If you had somebody to help you find yourself, well, early enough.
Good. You're right. So guidance and counseling, thank you for bringing guidance and counseling. They actually play a very huge role in social learning. Because when children come into their space to share their challenges with them, the challenge is a lot of them can't even guide themselves or even counsel themselves. I've been to institutions where guidance and counselors are harsh. If you are harsh, how do you want to help learners build resilience, build self-confidence in themselves? Do you understand? So, what I would say to that is, even if you don't like teaching and you find yourself there, whatever your heart finds to that's what I'll say.
That's in it. That community says it's like I've said, he has to be there first. He just they did to me. You pay that is so that willingness. Let's move. Let's just take a look at the Ministry of Education. Do you see any lab system again? And why social emotional learning have not been included to curriculum?
So for any institution or any government institution to take on to decide to put a policy into a document, that will take me back to one model we developed recently. I think the advocacy about SEL is not enough yet. Yeah, it's not enough yet. I think we need to talk about it more. Talk about it more, shout about it more in such a way that it catches the attention of the government. That, okay, what are these people talking about here? So like the foreign model that I said we develop, from the outset, we engaged NCC, we engaged them that this is what we are trying to do. Is there a way you can come? We show me the National Commission for Colleges of Education. So we research the foreign model that we are testing presently on the field. So the same advocacy needs to happen for SEL. We'll shout it enough that government will now call us, so yeah, you people should come. What are you talking about? What is the importance? The way we shouted about critical thinking. So the first thing is a lot of advocacy, But what I would say is that in some private sector, they are already doing SEL. So for it to be embedded nationally, a lot of advocacy. Speaking means different stakeholders at different levels to ensure that it gets to the others.
So up to this point, it has not got to the
Well, if it has and it has gotten their attention or caught their attention, I believe they will have done something about it. One thing I know that has gotten their attention is critical thinking, because NECO reviewed their curriculum and they've actually threaded it into the new curriculum that will be coming out.
I think model we can borrow from other countries where SEL has actually
The beef. Yes, there are several models. It's simple. It's called SEL framework. Okay, yes, SEL framework. And so like when you're talking about models, we may not necessarily, let me start this way. We can do an OKC that does not have to come from policy. What do I mean? I was telling you that teachers can put SEL in SEL. It doesn't have to be spelled out SEL in curriculum or in our curricula as the case may be. But okay, teachers hear you. But if we talk as we are talking now, a teacher hears about it. He said, oh, let me go and research about SEL. You can use SEL as examples in the classroom. You can use SEL when you are correcting behavior in the classroom. When you are doing group work in the classroom, you give roles, or you are the leader, you are the scribe, you will be the either whatever lawyer in this group and all of that. Giving them those responsibilities SEL. So it doesn't have to be a big stuff for us to ensure that it gets taught there.
okay. Let's just be deliberate about if it's for those that do not understand what SEL is. So, practically, what are the core elements of SEL? Okay, from the word SEL, the core element of SEL is the social skills. And social skills are many: interpersonal skills and communication skills, problem solving skills. We have quite a number of them. So now, before you can adopt SEL, you need to also look at the kind of learners you have, the kind of parents you have. What the core is that all social skills falls under the same social skills. All social skills, in like I said, communication skill is number one. Active is another communication skill. A lot of us we do passive listening. A lot of us we don't know how to communicate. The tone in your voice, temperament, empathy, understanding personality types. There are many. There are many. Then you now move to what's it called? Emotion. That's where you now look at your own emotion. That's where we'll talk about emotional intelligence. That's where we'll talk about health quotient, emotional intelligence quotients. You know, is it IQ, right? Intelligence quotient? No. So under SEL, we're now talking about emotional intelligence quotient. How are you able to see? Emotional intelligence is not managing other people. It's managing your own. When that's not wants to now, yeah, no. Go back. Don't lose it. How you are able to manage. So everything under emotion, from self-awareness, yes, to societal awareness, to norms, to culture, they all come together under SEL. So you have words like leadership, you have words like love, you have words like civic rights, you have words like responsibility. There are many. Yeah, there are many. Yeah. So we have different core principles that guide it, but whatever you want to do about whatever you want to do to teach SEL, just know that you should give skills that will build your learners for future. How to relate with people, how to talk to people, how to present out, how to do this. Professionalism, they are all embedded in social emotionality. But if you want to thread it down to primary, that's where you get stuff like leadership skills, communication skills. I've had things like saying sorry, you saying thank you, you're welcome, and all of that. Saying, oh, thank you. Hey, happy. Oh, greeting people, hugging. Oh, yeah. So interested. So, are we saying that one of our pastors I call this busy youths, people? It's a lack of emotion because I believe that to be successful in this time and age, you need to have a degree of social skills. And these days are new. Did you learn it, social emotional learning in the school? No, I learned it on the job. You learned it on the job. How many people learned it? Alexa, how many adults, now would say they know about social? How many did you ever learn how to make money? I'm sure it's part of it. It's part of the household and do money. You understand? Did we ever learn it? But we went to school. And with some people are still going to school. Even to their doctorate level, they don't learn this day. Except maybe those that specialize, do you understand, in just those areas. But I can tell you that you can see a professor now that did not learn social emotional learning throughout history. The knowledge shows. Oh, yeah. So are we saying that the state our nation is right now is because of the absence of this in our political? Or do we have other countries that have practiced social emotional learning for a long time? And where can we compare ourselves to them? We have a lot of countries that are success. One simple one, our Corrida Masters UK. They practice it a lot. You see, white people and people that are in tune with their English. So they decolonized us. They brought education. How to education it's out. Okay, thank you. Because we chose the part of education we wanted. We did go to them. And don't forget that there's a place for culture. So they left our culture to us. Exactly. I don't want to tell out your exactly because I've worked with their curricula. If you are going to adopt their curriculum, it specified clearly there that you will consider the cultural or the local context when you are using their documents. So our culture and their documents is what we are using at the wow. So about our culture, yes. And the and their document. Imagine merging. So and in our culture, there's a way we take place. What Western man will take, African man cannot take. So we kind of pick what we want. Anyone that conflicts, we throw it away.
The one that we don't teach some level of, liberation, so that is where we can say yes, that is where it stems out from, because we do not have people that are role models that we can look up to, that are giving us this overall colleagues, this mirror of social emotional learning. We have a lot of Nigerians yet make a shot for Africa. We have a lot of Nigerians getting angry, unable to manage them. You see people fighting. There was one day I saw something. A car bashed another car. Talk about it and making be a roadmap. They started smashing each other's social emotional learning at play. They could not manage their emotion whatsoever. They started batching each other's screen and all of that. So,
Yeah. Well, yes. We have a long way to go. Indeed, we will get there. But let's want a big rewind now, where the ship returned. We'll still be here when our wonderful guests. Please stay with us.
I disobeyed my mom. I know I'm supposed to stay inside. I know she warned me, but when I saw mom eat some food in front of our gate, what was I supposed to do? Wait for permission? I had to act. She was bleeding. Blood. I had to act. I ran, shouted for help. They came. Yes, mommy was angry, but maybe now she understands that obedience without heart is fear, and I want to be more than that.
Welcome back. I like what's inspired this session, this afternoon, morning, evening, depending on the time you're watching me right now. What? I mean, I'm highly, educated. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, and we're still in the studio with Stella, the educational consultant. Now, before we go, what do you think will become our graduates if SEL is not
incorporated into our curriculum. What learns in the nearest future? Well, learning does not stop, actually. Like I said earlier, I didn't necessarily school. So what I would say to every graduate and even anybody in school at the moment is to try and do what we call self-learning. Look for other things you can learn aside what the Nigerian system of the walls of the school is giving you. So we learn at every stage in our life. So all of is now stopped. So even if they didn't learn it in school, they can still learn about social emotional learning because the materials are actually online, at least to get you started. We have up this rising and falling here and there and other chaotic things happening. Can we point it to SEL? Absolutely. We can point to SEL because if you lack social skills, if you can't interact, you can't see things from other people's perspective, you will struggle to relate with people. And like you said, that's why teams and organizations, they work in silos. So I work the schools and this is one of the things I try to help them to overcome. That we are built to collaborate together. We are not God. Where God created us, He didn't create us. Oh yeah, Priscilla, stand there and be the lone ranger in your corner. No, you are social brats. So it's important we let those skills and we just relate that we relate together. The world is a better place for us.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Stella, for being here on EduShield. It was quite interesting and educative and informative episode. And I'm sure my viewers out there have been enlightened one way or the other. So this is to say, if you are a school owner, please, this is not a thing of the past anymore. I mean, it's as urgent can be. Incorporate your teachers, your learners, with and social, emotional learning. We're in the workplace right now wondering what is happening. This could also be part of it. Look for coaches that can help you because the question, your unanswered questions, you understand, can stemple this conversation we're having now. So yeah, we're coming to you, we're saying all of this to you so that you can be better with an all the better and hand together we can build a better nation. This is how far we can grow on leadership today. Thank you so much for staying this long with us. If you missed any of our previous episodes, catch it up on our YouTube channel. They align to an education that aligns with purpose. Bye for now.
They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.